Welcome to another episode in GovCon Growth Bites. Today is November the 5th, year of our Lord, 2025. And I was given kind of a list of questions about kind of basic growth strategy and things about teaming and orals and various questions related to specifically service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses in light of the conference that's coming up here very soon in November. And so I thought I'd take a moment and just lay these down, give us an opportunity to review maybe some basics, rethink how we're going about capturing business, and also maybe this can serve as some training material for those who might be new to federal contracting and our GovCon environment and things that we might need to think about. So I think we've got 4 or 5 questions to go through this morning. One, what are the top 3 things that a small business should think about before pursuing a federal opportunity? Second question, advice on teaming. Third question, what's the number 1 skill you need to master for orals presentations? 4, what do you recommend that small businesses should set as a goal for their first year in federal contracting? And then how do you describe the mindset of a winning vendor? So lots of various topics there. Let's see what we can do with those here in a few minutes during this episode. So let's get stuck in. Number 1, top 3 things that you want to think about and get locked in as you're pursuing an opportunity. And these were just the top 3 things that came to my mind. You may have a different way to look at that. Put that down in the comments if you've got some new ideas that we should add to this conversation. But here are the 3 things that come to my mind when I'm thinking about client recommendations for new opportunities. So number 1, you want a detailed understanding of that customer and their mission. Don't assume, the federal government writ large, especially the executive branch, which is who we serve as vendors and growth consultants, and that's our business, right? Our customer is the federal executive branch, the 15 primary departments and all the associated agencies. Check yourself if you're thinking about that as one customer, because it's not. It's literally hundreds of customers. Because once you get down to the office level, each buyer, each organization has different requirements, and they buy differently and they think differently. Federal government's the largest collective buying organization in the world, but every agency, department, and office doesn't buy in the same way. They have their own unique requirements. And if you're selling and writing a proposal to a particular federal agency and to an office, you need to know as much about them as possible. You can do that through, obviously, discussions, meetings, and interviews with folks who are on staff in those agencies. You can also do it through teaming relationships. It's a great way and a great reason to bring on both smaller and larger businesses when the time is right to help round out your team. They can bring insight into that customer. Pursue and build relationships with former govies who have worked in those offices. Those guys can be of just invaluable in terms of their knowledge. They can also give you a sense of how the different personalities are playing out. Hiring consultants is always an option, but really looking at those who have left government service or who have moved to another agency. You'll find a lot of that through your LinkedIn searches. So really develop the most detailed understanding you can of their mission, especially their pain points. What do they struggle with, and what problems are they trying to solve, and how do they describe that problem? Right? One agency's pain point may not be the same as another agency, even within the same department. They may think about it differently. Second thing you want to really work on is a compelling solution. You need to have a targeted solution that addresses their pain point and comes out and really work on extracting out customer benefit from your solution. Don't just talk about how great your service is. Don't just talk about how great your people are. Don't just talk about how great your product is. Talk about it from the perspective of what business and mission benefit is the customer going to receive. And how does this, in a more compelling, risk-free way, help them meet their mission? And in our business, which is largely services based, that's going to be delivered by key personnel and by your teams. And so to the extent that you can have and promote and sell the right key personnel that have the exact background that customer is looking for, how does that customer evaluate the people that they're buying through contracting opportunities? How do they look at that? How do they think about that? What experiences and skills and education, et cetera, are they looking for? Don't assume that everybody's evaluating key personnel the same. Think about these things as you're trying to get locked in on pursuing a federal opportunity. All right, so that was question number one. Question number two is all about advice on selecting teaming partners. So let me say the most common mistake that I see federal contractors making, especially those who are new to the market, one of the most common mistakes I see is teaming with friends and who I call friends and family. You happen to have a good relationship with a firm that's been around the block a lot longer, and so they've had contracts there. They know you, you know them. Okay, let's do it. And that might be a good idea. But it also might not. There might be a better teaming partner for you. There might be somebody who's closer to that client, that customer. There might be somebody who has more insight than your friend or your close colleague. And so do your research and really try to identify, and this just takes good old-fashioned on-the-ground intelligence gathering. You got to talk to a lot of people. You got to read a lot. You really have to do your work so that you understand the competitive environment. We've got tools through some of the platforms we've built, like FPDS Plus, that can show you who have the contracts in those agencies. But then you really got to do your digging and figure out, both reading between the lines on the data reports, but also talking to folks in industry who do business with that customer group. Who are the right teammates and who are the ones who are maybe out of favor and who brings what insight, and really do your investigative research to find the best teammate that can really help you win. The other thing that I think is an overlooked opportunity is the RFI process. If you're pursuing business within a federal agency, you should respond. And let's just take, just hypothetically, you're in IT services, broadly speaking or narrowly focused. You should respond to every possible RFI request or sources sought notice that is posted. Respond to all of them. That is a free open door for marketing. And your RFI or your sources sought response should be of the highest quality possible. Don't just phone it in. If you're going to phone it in, maybe hold back and don't submit it. Really put some effort into that and give them the best response that you possibly can. It's free marketing. It's a free opportunity. They have to review what you send them. So you get an open door to put your capabilities, to form an impression. There's all kinds of goodness that can come from responding to a request for information or a notice to where they're selecting sources. The other thing I would say, once you've invested in that sources sought response, follow up with them. Call the contracting officer. Call the office that's funding that requirement and find out what's going on. You're building a relationship. You have invested in this customer. Expect to be treated with the right kind of respect on the other end. And I think, it may take a number of calls and emails, but if you're persistent and professional, I think you'll get a great response. The last thing in terms of selecting teaming partners and really promoting your firm is develop capability-specific, solution-specific capability statements. we're all familiar with the 2 pages or 10 slides or whatever the case may be, the kind of the mother of all capability statements. It tries to talk about everything you've done and everything you're capable of and how great you are in every area. And, you don't really leave one impression with the customer. If you've got a customer and they're buying cybersecurity, defensive cybersecurity solutions and services, give them a defensive cybersecurity capability statement as an example. Be specific. They're looking to solve a problem. If they're looking for a cybersecurity solution, they don't care about your help desk capability, by and large. They want to know how great you are in cybersecurity. So tell them, do it in 1 page. They're only going to read a capability statement for 45 to 90 seconds anyway. They're not going to spend all day on it. They're going to put it on their desk. They're going to put it in their file. They're going to try and search for it later, maybe. Specific capability statements that could be read and understood in 1 page are just some of the most highly effective things that we've built. And if you'd like some help with that, just reach out and we can give you more on our approach to capability statements. The third question in our list that we kind of had at the beginning of this episode in the agenda was mastering oral presentations and what's a critical skill for mastering and being prepared to give an orals briefing. And a lot goes into orals. There are coaches who specialize in doing nothing but helping firms prepare for an orals presentation. So I don't claim to have all of the answers relative to orals, but I do know from having participated in several that the number one thing I would focus on, really over and above anything else, the number one item I would focus on is mastering the description of your solution and why it's good for this customer. Public speaking polish and skill, I mean, you can work on that, but inside of a month, you're only going to kind of polish that. You're not going to just kind of green up your public speaking ability overnight. That's going to take time. So don't worry about that so much. You really want to get locked into and nail down how you describe your solution to their problem, what their benefit is, and you need to be prepared for their questions. You need to know what they're going to ask, how they're going to compare you against your competition, and why you've got the best solution on the market. Work on that. Make that just come right off the tip of your tongue. You should be able to describe that to your next door neighbor as you're cutting your grass or checking your mail. You should be able to describe that to a new friend you meet in the elevator at a hotel or an office building. How are you going to describe that? What makes your solution so great? And why are you the right vendor for them? Know those answers, make them compelling, and then drive that discussion toward the business and mission benefit your customer's going to receive out of that, and how you're going to make their life so much better and their mission so much more on target and easier to perform with less risk. Just drive that and drive it hard. If you can do that, you'll be in great position to win at your next orals briefing. Okay, question number 4. What's a success mindset for your first year in government contracting? So let's say you're a new firm and you've been providing services to the private sector, or you've just started a brand new consultancy in government contracting. You're going to be providing services in a particular area, professional, IT engineering, whatever the case may be. You've got your business set up, you're ready to go to market, and federal customers are your focus. What do you want to do in the first year? Well, certainly revenue is king, and you want to go after revenue. So if you're going to go after revenue in the federal market in your first year in government contracting, you're going to get that through subcontracting. So find the small business and large business primes who are in the agencies that you've targeted and that you're selling to, and find out what their problems are. What do they need help with, and then build solutions to help those primes. They can get you funded on contract a lot faster than the federal government. So focus on subcontracting. But more than that, really focus on your positioning. Develop a sharp edge and a razor sharp point on who you are as a company and what value you're bringing to specific customers in the federal government, not to the government writ large. Don't try to be all things to all people in your messaging. Of course, you'll take, a body here, a body there, wherever the revenue leads you. But in your positioning and your messaging, be very specific about the problems you're solving, be specific about the customers that you're helping, and be specific about where your company fits in the marketplace. Like I mentioned, subcontracting is going to be the way to go, but you really want to get your focus dialed in. We've got a client that we've supported for a number of years, and they do fabulous work in the special operations community. They do such fabulous work that their customers are always looking for how they can move work to them easiest way possible for tens of millions of dollars. They're not in the position anymore of selling. They're in the position of responding to their customers' requirements. And they did that through focus. They did it through a relentless focus of understanding their customer, delivering the highest quality service possible and never deviating from that, and not spreading themselves too thin. They didn't get outside that community. They didn't try to be all things to all people within the Defense Department. They focused on one customer set. They built deep, and then the deeper they went, the wider they got. And now they're an indispensable part of their customer's organization and their customer's mission. So just a quick example, you want to be that partner that your customer can't live without. And you do that as a small business through focus. You can't spread out too wide, or you'll find that you have a hard time growing deep because you're always growing too wide. My name is Robert Turner. My firm, R. Turner Consulting, has been providing growth services to small, medium, and large federal contractors since 2013, 2015. And if we can help you with business development, growth, or proposal support, we'd love to do that. We've got a number of packaged offerings, labor options, consulting options, as well as data and application platforms. So our ability to pull all that together to help you grow your firm, I think, is rather unique in the market, and we've had great success over the past several years. We'd love to help you grow. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to this episode, and we wish you all the best in FY26 and beyond.